YouTubers, and welcome to another episode of the Jesse Hill Airsoft Corner. And today I'm going to be doing kind of a double episode, a little bit of information about improvised explosive devices, so to speak. Of course, I'm speaking of pneumatic explosive devices in Airsoft, and I'm going to do my Airsoft gun review at this time. So, I'm going to do the gun first. Today we're going to be talking about the WeTech Browning High Power. Now, like I said, I am a World War II gun buff. As you can see, I've done the PPSH and the Mauser and stuff like that. I don't exactly have a large array, but the ones I have had have really wowed me. And this one is no exception. It's very good. And the best part about this gun, which I'll start off with, is the fact that this gun shoots around 350 FPS, so it's okay to use when you're playing indoor or in a business sanctioned kind of game, which means, anybody that owns land or anything and you're paying for it, usually, like I've said before, as I work at an airsoft field, that's a lot of the times most guns cannot shoot over 350 FPS for safety reasons. That being said, let's have a look at the packaging. Now, it will come in a box similar to this. I bought this at my local airsoft retailer in town called Wichita. Usually you can get it at either one or two places, sorry. Wichita Indoor Airsoft sells a couple, and I got this at BB Airsoft World. It's got a little orange guy. It's not hard to miss, but it's a really nice place, and I recommend you look it up on the internet in Wichita if you do live around here. So this is what it looks like in the box. Comes with a magazine, of course. This is in fact a green gas powered pistol. I don't recommend you run anything else but green gas or airsoft gas, like the airsoft gas that I've shown before. I'll show you again just so that you are safe. Something like this. Similar to red gas or green gas, you can use that, but I do not recommend you run CO2 through this because it will chew up the inside of the mag, and it's not good for it. Now, let's get to the gun itself. Now, I do have a magazine in the gun already, for certain reasons. That being said, I'll show you what the mag looks like. The mag is a very simple, standard size mag. I'm sure that you can find other mags that can fit the WeTech gun, but for this purpose, they only had one mag at the time since it's a rare gun. Many places aren't selling it. Of course, it's got the standard adjustable gas port where you can put it in. And the really nice effect is it's not one of those ones that you have to hold your finger like the Mauser C1896 and load it like that. This one catches and holds, which I loved. And, it's just those little things that help. Of course, there's the contact point for the gas to escape into the chamber. And, it's got a pretty nice spring. It's easy to pull down. There's enough there so you don't necessarily need nails. And it grabs onto your finger pretty easily. So, that's the magazine. Moving on to the gun, of course, you have the orange tip for safety, and you've got the World War II standard leaf sights that go up and down, adjustable up to 500 yards, which is a bit of a stretch for most pistols, but I can believe that would be possible for this one reason. Like many German guns at that time, they could have stocks. Well, this American gun, made by John Browning, comes with a similar capability. You could slide a stock in there. That's ultimately unheard of for most American guns at the time. They realized that it was very useful for the Luger, like the artillery model, and they also realized it was a very good thing, of course, for the Mauser C1896 for many reasons, because it had the full auto capability. Well, this one had a lot going for it, and they figured why not just add stock to it. But, I'm not going to go into historical values, but yeah. It's a really nice gun. It's really easy to take apart, and it's just a really, really nice feel to it. It hits the hand so well, and the weight is generally right in here diagonally. So it's right around there. So it holds well. Let's move on to the action of the gun, flipping it around. Okay, as you can tell, there's a lever that goes up, like in most airsoft guns or one-to-one guns. You have the mag release, which is right there that I'm pressing on. You have the locking mechanism, and you have the safety. Now here's the kicker about the safety. As you pull it back, you can of course lock the slide like that. It is now in lock position. Now you can also pull it back just a teeny tiny bit more and activate the safety. So now it's stuck in this position. Even if you take off the safety, it won't release it because of the mag catch. So let me show you again. it's up and it's locked in. But, and like I said, trigger is stuck. So, that's a good thing. Pull that down, pull both those down, and it's cool because you can do it in tandem just by the swipe of a finger. They both go back. Now, the interesting thing about this is the safety is only activated when I found and I looked around and I really studied the gun hard. The thing about this gun I have a problem with is the safety can only be activated when the hammer is back. It cannot be activated if the hammer is down for some reason. So, I'll take it off and release it. Another thing is, I forget to mention that you cannot, without the magazine in, you cannot disengage the hammer. So, place it in, and there you go. So, of course, there's no gas in here for safety purposes. So, yeah, this is a bit of a weird gun as far as safeties and deactivation goes, but it really is a decent gun. The weight is great. It's all in the hand, none in the front, almost, and it is a blowback, of course, so that means, you know, it'll slide back and forth as you fire it, which I cannot do right now. So it'll keep doing that as you fire it. But, really nice gun. Like I said, the only reservation I have, like I said, the hammer is now up. I cannot engage the safety at all, unless that hammer is back in some way. So if I pull it back, I found that I can now lock it into place. I know this is a weird safety feature, and on the real Browning, this is actually a point that a lot of people had trouble owning this one because of that right there. You can have it cocked and have it around the chamber, and, I mean, I guess if you're about to execute somebody, or you're in battle, that'd be a good thing. Pull it off, and you got a round going off right now. And that is if the round is in the chamber. That being said, I don't know if I would be a big fan of that in the real still version, because there are some safety issues with that, and, some bad stuff could go down. But like I said, it's got those two safety features. It's got that, and it's got the safety slide that can go back. If you just pull back maybe a quarter of a hundredth of an inch back, just a little bit more, it'll lock both in there. And sometimes it'll lock the trigger, sometimes it won't, but this is completely unfireable at this point. Take out the mag, do whatever you want. And you release that one, or you could do both of them at the same time. But remember, that doesn't come down unless this will not come down unless A, the magazine has to be in, and B, it has to be engaged, and the safety has to be off in order for it to come down, of course. So, it's been deactivated. Overall, this is a really good gun. I recommend a little heavier pellets, simply because lighter pellets will fly over the place with most gas guns. This gun, I give it an overall 4.5 simply because of the safety problem, but it is historically accurate, so I guess I would give it a 5 stars because of that. It is made of metal. The only thing that is polymer is the special grips, but they're really hard polymer wood-like, fiber. So they are strong. The gun is very resilient. The orange tip is made of metal, so if you need to take that off, I recommend WD-40 or some kind of solvent, because you're not going to get it off by traditional means, most likely. You might damage the barrel, might twist the barrel, might hurt it, so yeah. Overall, the gun is good. It works great, functions well, great handle to it. I took it outside, checked the chrono. It shoots around 350, shoots a little under. Depending on what kind of gas you run through it. I use King of Arms, and it's pretty good stuff, and it really helps guide the bullet very well. I recommend, of course, heavy pellets. When you are shooting, remember to keep eye protection on, not glasses, but something to cover your face. Also, remember that to keep these in a holster or in a gun bag away from sight. Also, when you are playing, make sure that you tell people, if you are not in a sanctioned area, that you are about to play Airsoft because of reasons, in this country lately. We've been going through a lot of gun things. I'm not going to get into that, but it just keeps the sport alive, and it keeps it, people from getting too many concerns for it. And remember to use good trigger control. I know I haven't been able to use it a lot lately in this episode simply because of the trickiness of the gun itself, but hopefully this will sell it for you. If you're a World War II gun guy, you will love this gun. It just feels fantastic. This pistol is by far one of my personal favorites. It also has that 1911 look because it was pre-1911. My brother actually owns a real one of these. These are really nice. Worth a lot of money if you can really get a real one. But they are really nice. Really good looking, I'm telling you, comfortable in the hand. That's what sold it me, was the comfort. I don't know about the mags though. I can tell you that this gun isn't sold on eBike right now. It is on the pre-order. They're asking around to see if it would be a good idea to sell, but the mags are a little harder to find, but I'm sure you could fit some kind of other mag in there. I really haven't done the research on that. My bad. But overall, the gun is good. The gun works. It does its job. It's very comfortable. It fits in most holsters like my chest holster, and it's very nice. Thanks for stopping by, and please subscribe and like the video, and we'll see if we can't get another couple of airsoft guns here in a little while. I'm a little bit in a financial situation paying for college, so you know how that is. Thanks very much, guys, and remember, play safe, keep having fun, and be civil. Hi, YouTubers. This is a continuation of the Browning High Power episode, and I just thought I would start out by showing you a little bit of the tech on the Thunderbee or sound flash bang bombs or whatever they're called. As you can tell, a lot of people have said that these can get very expensive, and yes, they can be very expensive. You're paying $40 for about 12 of the rounds. Plus one of the, I call it receivers simply because, you load it and pull the pin and it goes kaboom. So, for one of the detonation devices, it comes with the latch, a little spring-powered hammer, a buttload of pins in case you lose those, which I reuse them. I don't bother bending them either. And, of course, the cylinder and whatnot. Let's break it down, and I'll show you guys what this thing is all about. When it comes in the package, it'll be in a couple parts. You'll have the pins separate in a little bag with a couple O-rings. I haven't really taken them apart because they really are built well. And you'll get the main detonation device on most grenades. You'll have this little puppy right here, which of course is used as a safety switch. When you pull the pin, it will hold down the little spring-powered hammer that hits the button that drives the needle into the CO2, which this does use CO2. I use a standard Crossman CO2 because it makes a really large bang. I really like it. It's a lot better than most. I wouldn't recommend buying it on any airsoft place because it's just, an odd end CO2, but the Crossman really hasn't let me down as far as CO2 goes, so I recommend that just for a bigger boom. So it'll come in this little cylinder here, and you can place it in there. This, of course, will be attached here. I'll show you as you screw it on. And it's not, there we go. As you screw it on, that will have to be on pretty firm, okay? Make sure that that's on tight, but not too tight. You don't need to have it, over tightened. It doesn't matter because it's going to be inside a canister, which I'll show you. You unscrew the bottom right here, and you place it in there gently. Don't puncture it, because if it pre-punctures, something bad can have a fire there like a torpedo. But you'd have to throw it in there pretty fast. So, you screw it back in, and it fits in there perfect, okay? Here's the thing that I want to explain to you before you do this. You need to engage the hammer and the pin long before you put the CO2 in for safety purposes. So, what you do is you pull the hammer back, and what I do is I use the pin temporarily to hold this little buddy right here that's moving a little bit, which starts there, and it'll hit that little pin, which will hit the needle, and, blah, 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 blah. So, what you do is you pull that one back right there. Now that it is in safety mode, or would it be a safety mode, you place the pin through the top, right up here, of course, like in most grenades, and you let it go. And you can bend these tips, but I don't recommend it simply because it's really not necessary. So you place it in like that, and there you go. It is primed and ready to go. Then you move on to the shell itself. Now, some of the shells can look like the standard pineapple grenade, but most of them will come in the cylinder-style thermite or flashbang or that kind of body like this, a canister. As you can see, it says Sound Flash, or Flashbang, or Thunderbee, or whatever it is. But anyway, I used, I believe it's called Hakkotsu, and they really work well. These are really dense, really strong plastic. It's hard to squeeze. It's definitely dense, so it makes the gas, really get tight in there before it lets out, which makes a bigger bang. So, of course, you place it in, and you screw her on there, okay? Now, these ones tend to have a little bit of room in them for a couple pellets. You can place pellets in there, but, for some people, they just want this flashbang for that police kind of style. They don't want to damage anybody, so you could do that. So, this is an unarmed flashbang without pellets in it. But, again, you can put pellets in all of them. They recommend it if you do want to make grenades. And it's completely safe. It's under 250, I believe, but it's really freaking loud. And also, some of the grenades will come with, some strange, I guess, grooves on them, like this. See how it has the threading on it? Many of these can be used as a directional kind of thing. See, a lot of times when these go off, the top of these will tear open, so you'll see the top of this kind of come off completely, because that's where it will go, where all the pressure is building the most, and it'll tear a little bit. But with the help of these really strong polymer screw-on pieces, the explosion will happen in the middle, thus flinging the pellets, which these are made for, right here especially, into the direction of wherever it lands. So instead of it popping the top and just send it in one direction, it'll blow its gut out and send it up and around, which is a little more accurate. By simply screwing those on and getting them on nice and tight, the tops will not pop off, the middle will rip open, and it will send it everywhere rather than just in one direction, and somebody could just easily dodge it. That being said, the sound, they are not immune to the sound, because it is freaking loud, like I said before. So, these little things right here just reinforce it so that they will come out in the middle and spread out better. This was invented because a lot of times people would put pellets in these, and they would only go out like that. And so if it's laying there away from you, you're pretty much safe. But if it blows up in the middle, it will send them everywhere. The cool thing about these is they're built pretty well. This is a special aluminum. This is, I believe, a polymer and metal. And this is a steel piece right here. Pretty well built. When you are using these, I don't necessarily recommend you just chuck them at somebody, but you just gently roll them by releasing the trigger, which I'll show you in a video later, and just gently toss them in there, and they'll do their job. They are very loud and very, very fun to use. But it can get expensive, just like my Grenadier special I did on my Thumper. It can be expensive. The bills can add up, so I recommend that you use these wisely. So, again, I'll show you how this works. Pull out the pin. If you heard that click, that was this little hammer right here, coming from right here and smacking down on the little trigger, which releases the gas, and boom. So it's very simple, very easy to use. They're a lot of fun, and they're definitely intimidating. I've seen and heard a couple of them in the games that I have proceeded over, and I can tell you that they're quite fun and very, very useful. Well, this is Jesse Hill signing off for this portion of the video. If you stick around, I'll show you the last bit, and it'll show you how it went off and how it worked. Thanks very much, guys. Remember to be safe, use eye protection, use gun bags, keep your guns out of sight, and if you are playing in a non-sanctioned area, make sure people know. Okay, thank you very much, and have a good day. YouTubers, I'm Jesse Hill, and we're going to do another episode of Airsofting. I'm here with my family today, and we're going to be setting off the Thunder Bee. What this is a large sound device, and what this is a distractive device. Sorry about that, my phone is going off. What it does is it makes a large sound, and sometimes you can fill them up with pellets, and it'll send them everywhere. So, without further ado, let's set it off. By pulling the pin, you activate the locking mechanism, which is this. You hold it down. So long as you have this down, it will not go off. You let it out,